Mitch Wayne's World.
Go ahead and start this thing over. Damn. I look like I beat my kids. Well, I don't have any kids. And if I did, I wouldn't beat them. Welcome back to Mitch Wayne's World, boys and girls. It's just me. Just me, silly old Mitch Wayne, talking. And yeah. This is gonna be the very last podcast I do. No one's ever gonna see. No, this is gonna be the last podcast of this little volume that I do, and I thought it would be nice if it was just me, because I want to talk about some things with just you and I. It's weird because I've been having people on the podcast. I think I had like 7 or 8 guests, and through that, the whole point of this like volume 1 thing was just going through and documenting my process of blossoming into from a, I don't know, some younger man to a young man, mid-20s man, a middle-aged man. And just kind of being finally doing something consistently for the first time in a long time that wasn't pushed onto me by other people, and taking care of myself and learning how to live properly for myself and those kind of things. So it was weird. I hadn't talked, just me and the camera, which is what I used to do mainly for a while. So I was kind of nervous, but yeah, bro, here I am. The reason I'm doing this whole volume thing and stuff like that is because my birthday is at the end of the month, and it's in a week. But by the time this comes out, it'll probably be around then. And I just thought it'd be cool. I turned 25 last year. I'm turning 26 this year, and a lot of stuff happened all within around that time, like a month before, a month after that year. And, as a young man, when you turn 25, your prefrontal cortex starts developing and things of that nature. I think it's your prefrontal cortex. It's something in your brain starts developing. And you start thinking about life different, and a lot of things started changing in my life. And I felt like a long journey that I had never really talked about, that I think I want to talk about before I carry on with I want to do volume 2. I want to figure out some new interesting things to do. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, last podcast I had my brother on. That guy's very important to me. All the people that I've had on during the past 4 or 5 months have been super important to me in one way or another. There's a lot of other people, so if you haven't made it on and you still want to come on, you would talk to me. Some of you I already have a plan for. Others, hit me up. What's up? We could talk about stuff. I'm here. It's me and you. So yeah, this was, man, where do I start? I guess yeah. Growing up, most of the people that watch this already know me, and if you don't, then you could probably guess, but I was a little bit of a crazy guy. I like to live life on different extremes. I'll go super hard in one thing and then forget about it and go super hard in the next thing pretty quick, back to back. I have kind of that addictive personality. I go crazy psycho mode, but not in a bad way. I mean, maybe used to in a bad way a lot more, but nowadays I got that shit locked in, and that's, part of what I want to talk about. But I have a whole notes list of things, but sometimes I just ramble to myself in my notes, and it's not, I can't really decipher what the fuck I'm trying to say, because it's just a lot of words, but I'll try to figure it out. It'll just come from the heart, but I was a bit of a wild boy. I didn't give a fuck about most things. Fuck yeah, bro. Nah. I just like to live life on all the different edges, not just one edge. There's that's silly. Also, I think I'm gonna take my time with this podcast, so just come on, relax, take your time with me and see what happens up here in Mitch Wayne's world. Everything is still such a work in progress over here. But I was, you know, one of those kind of characters, which is funny because I don't necessarily always present that way. I present a little bit sweeter and softer. Well, I am sweeter and softer than I used to be, but I definitely present that way now. I think it's good to be sweet to people and good to people. I mean, you can still be an asshole to people when they deserve it, but you know, it is what it is. So I was a wild boy. I was running around. I was out here in these streets. My brother, I'll start with this part of it because I feel like, you know, I used to make gaming videos. Most of y'all who watch this have probably seen a couple of those. That was a lot of fun. Didn't really ever be too consistent with it. Most of the stuff that I've done for myself creatively, the biggest problem has been consistency and, you know, keeping through to something and whatever, which is, you know, still something I struggle with because it's kind of like, you know, being scared of what you are really, like filling all these different things or different voids with just like what I'm really trying to pursue and being scared of like what you can accomplish kind of thing. I'm not crying, I promise. I just had to burp. I've just been drinking this Corona. But anyways, I'm probably going to be all over the place, but just stick with me, follow with me. I also haven't really been smoking, and then I smoked a little bit, and I'm having a couple beers just because, like, why not, you know? It's a nice Thursday night to myself, and I wanted to do this before my birthday, like I said, because that's when this volume is ending. So, blah, blah, blah. I've made gaming videos. I made music videos before that for other people. All sorts of shit with that. I don't really need to dive into, like, all that. But it was fun. Learned a lot of things when I was a young whippersnapper. Dropped out of college to do that, and then pursued other stuff. You know, like I said in the last podcast with my brother, got it out the mud just a little bit. I don't want to go into detail with that either, but it is what it is. And then found myself in, you know, as like I said, running around in these streets. A woman comes across my life, makes me change a lot of the ways that I've been thinking about things, and, you know, running around with these hoes out in these streets, you know, it's not good to do that. Too much of that, it gets you burnt up in all kinds of ways. So that's, you know, comes around. My brother gets married on the night of his wedding. I like emceed his wedding. I hosted it. It was a beautiful wedding. Shout out to him and his wife. If you haven't watched that podcast, you should go do that. It's a pretty good one. It's only like an hour long, and like I said, it's a pretty good one. So he has his wedding. I was not making smart decisions, and I was driving in a rental car that I flipped 3 times. And I had the girl that I mentioned was in the car with me, and almost killed both of us. And luckily, it's like, thank God, like for real, every day that we walked out of that with pretty much no harm, no injuries, like no nothing serious. Honestly, nothing with the law, nothing with insurance, all that stuff. Like it was a crazy situation. And I have definitely had some near-death experiences a couple times in my life because, like I said, I've been a little bit of a wild boy. I've done different things that, like, well, again, whatever. But that one was a serious one to me because, like, it was the first time, I think at that point I was, like, 23. This was, like, a few years ago. And it was the first time that I had ever directly put someone that I cared about's life in danger. Obviously, me and the girl are no longer together. But at that point in time, I had just like straightened up a lot of my life, stopped doing a lot of shit. I was coming out of like a little bit of a drug addiction phase of my life. And she was like a good reflection of me, like a better part of myself that I wanted to be like, and all that shit. So almost killed her and myself in this accident on the night of my brother's wedding. Didn't tell like most of my family till like a few days later, a couple weeks later. And they were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Everyone, like, obviously this girl's parents come and they're like, what the everyone's like, luckily y'all are good and y'all are alive, but what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. I should probably reassess that. And at this point, I had no plans of going to college. I had just bought a new car that was like a little bit too expensive for what I could afford. And then I decide I'm going to go finish college because I had like a little bit of a window to do that. I've been working in the job that I have for like 2 years. And yeah, I started really thinking about life like a lot differently. And honestly, like this creative shit and what I wanted to do with, and I call it this creative shit because like right now it's the podcast and I'm making the short videos, and I used to make gaming videos, and I want to take it to a bunch of different places because there are a lot of, I don't know, the world is wide open. You can do whatever you want, but that's, for later. So I was lucky to go to a dope school that could like kind of tailor my degree to like what I wanted to do. And yeah, just kind of matured a lot as a youngin', and started to really think about the way that like my actions affect other people, and the way that this wasn't supposed to be that serious of a podcast. Like there's supposed to be like more fun to it, but I'm just kind of spitting off the dome, like I said. And yeah, then I graduated like around a year ago in December of 2023. Oh, goodness gracious. So yeah, I did that, and going to school isn't a necessary thing like at all, but I think for what people expected of me, what I expected of myself, just the different path that I had taken in life, to kind of come back to, some degree of what was not modeled for me, but like, I don't know, societal expectations and family expectations and those kind of things are interesting, and they're not always all bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a younger person and you're watching this, like, it can be annoying, and you got to find your own way to get to what you believe in and also what other people believe in of you. But what people expect of you isn't always the worst, and that's like very nuanced. Obviously there are some situations that are kind of like toxic and you just can't handle, and that sucks, and you just got to stay away from that. But that's a whole other thing. So yeah, then I did that, and like, to be honest, I was doing a lot of this for this girl that I was with, because I wanted to, she again was like kind of a reflection of me, that I wanted to be more like a positive reflection of me. And I grew a lot in that, through that. But we had our problems, as people do. We split up. It is what it is. That was last year. And then I had to take all those things where prior to that, I was in a real bad phase. I was addicted to, some bad shit, all sorts of different things. Not like not like that crazy, but just like the rush of things. Obviously, I'm not going to like out whatever, but don't do that. It's not a good thing to do. Any kind of substance, even, drinking too much, eating too much, exercising too much, doing too much of anything is not good. But before all that, I was like in one place, and I kind of had like this crutch to lean on, a couple crutches to lean on. And then I didn't have those. I got a promotion at my job, which was dope, which allowed me to like, live more freely financially. But I lost, a couple of really important things that were like, like I said, kind of crutches in my life. So as life does its tricks, I had a decision to make, and that decision was presented to me in a bunch of different ways over the past year. And yeah, here I am wanting to talk about it. And I just think like reflecting on this past year of my life with myself, and forcing myself to record it and make it part of the podcast and all that, is going to be a good thing for myself. And hopefully some people that have been watching this can get something from it. Like I said, it's supposed to be still kind of a silly, fun episode, but here I am. It's not that deep at all. Like, nothing's ever that deep. Let's look at some of these notes. Like, yeah, really, it's so many cliche things that you learn when you get older that, and I hate that when you get older shit. It's really when you experience different things, because I had experienced so many parts of life, but I never really experienced like really giving that much of a fuck about people, besides like one or two people, or like, my friends. But even then, like, I always kept people at kind of like a distance, and I never really like, whatever. And then I like really cared about a couple people, and then those people went off in different paths for whatever different reasons. And then you just like, I was at a place in life where I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and take care of myself, think about myself. Let me work on the podcast. It wasn't even really a podcast at that point in time. I just kind of had the idea for it, and then I finally had the time for it after going to school and all that, because that shit really took up a lot of time. I will say, if you're trying to pursue something and you're in school and you're like super young, you should do that shit. Because I kind of did, like, I had a lot of practice when I was younger, but I never really did like outward practice, like just a little bit. Occasionally I'll find a video here and there and I'm like, oh hell yeah, but like most of my shit was inward. And for like inward is in like inside of myself and versus outward. And yeah, most of it was for other people and that kind of stuff. So I encourage you to start thinking about yourself in a more positive light. I think being self-centered versus selfish is important. And, it's something that you really got to learn. And, like, you can't do it from a place of, like, being upset with people. You got to do it from a place of just, like, really caring about yourself. And, yeah, I don't know, bro. Sometimes I feel like I see the way that my life is now and how lucky I am to have, like, some of the things that I have. And I don't have, like, a lot. I mean, I live fine, but, like, I'm trying to really get a lot more in terms of just this bread. But the way that I've been able to live life and the power that I have over myself and my life now is, like, an irreplaceable thing. And sometimes lessons they're hard to learn, but you gotta learn them hoes. And the only way to learn a lot of lessons, especially if you're someone like myself, is to just engage with life fully and wear no condoms in life, like theoretically, metaphorically. But you should always wear a condom, literally, but metaphorically with life, don't. But with other people, you should. Carrying on. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many things that I've written here, but just the concept of, like, and there's a lot of people that feel this, and I still do a lot of times, but having that addictive personality, which a lot of people can, like, it can come off as drive, and for some people it is. Some people are just addicted to, like, good shit, and, like, it has to do with the environment they were raised in and just who they are as people and what they're drawn to. But some people like to explore and get their fucking nose in the mud, and some people do a little bit of both. I'm a little bit of both, I have to say. But I do think that putting your nose in the mud, metaphorically. This is bad, dude. I'm catching myself. What else have I said? I don't know. I had to do a little pause for some congestion. But I'm just not a big listener in life. Like, I hear people, but I don't listen. But I just have to really experience something firsthand before it really sticks to my brain, And I mean, yeah, like, I'm even aware of that, but still to this day, sometimes I've just, like, gotta stick my nose in the mud. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man of extremes. I like to swing really heavily to both sides. Like, if that means, I'm partying a lot one weekend, that means the next couple mornings I'm waking up and having to get rid of all that. And that sounds good, and it is good, but also it can lead to too far of swings, and you gotta stay away from all that good stuff. But yeah, bro, it's just interesting to watch people grow, people that you've known for a long time, and people that you meet in this part of life, and who different people become, and the role that you play in life. And it's something that you got to pay attention to, because I don't know, it's something that I've never this was the first year since I was like full year that since I was like 17, 18, that I was just completely single. I had a couple girlfriends here and there, but nothing like super serious that was like all the time. And I'm gonna continue that for a good minute. This is, you know, my creative shit's what I'm focused on for a good bit. But it's interesting to see the way that people view you as just you, you know. And I hadn't really experienced that in a long time, and it was weird how I kind of was still the same person in a lot of people's eyes. And it's not all good. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is interesting. Like, you know, like I'm the fun friend that everyone loves to like hang out with, but like I don't know, bro. It's just weird. Like, some of the homies go home early, and some of the homies go home with their girls, and some of the homies just like should be lingering too hard. Some of y'all be lingering too hard, and it's always interesting to just like, and I, you know, like if you are the type of person that has had like a lot of functions at your place, then you understand the feeling of when like the music turns off and the lights go out and it's just you, and you're like, what the man, man, this shit is weird as fuck. But it's not. There's a lot worse things to be in the world, but it's something that you don't want to play into too much, because it's not who anyone wants to be for their entire life. And you know, luckily I've had examples around me that have been that at parts of their life, and then others that, you know, have continued that into their death as an old man. And yeah, you definitely don't want all that, but it's also good to spend some time with yourself and enjoy who you are. And like, I've never been more chill and at peace with myself, but it's not it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Yeah, I think, you know, it's weird how some people, and I think, you know, this is myself talking about myself, but I can be so aware of some of the shit that I'm doing wrong or incorrectly, but I'll just like double down on that shit and not really give a damn about it. Or I do give a damn about it. Again, a man of extremes. Like, I do give a damn about it, and then one day I wake up and be like, it's over. I'm not doing this shit anymore. So, I don't know. The human brain is just so interesting. And, yeah. The human brain is so interesting. Like I said, this past year has been, like, probably the biggest growth year of my entire life. It felt like I could have fucked it all up, or really set in some like great shit. And the great shit hasn't happened, but I definitely didn't fuck it all up. I could tell you that. And you know when you're doing right by yourself. That shit just feels right. Life just feels the way that it should, baby. But it is trippy too. Like I said, having a consciousness is weird, because like a lot of my life has been so chaotic and like all over the place, and like you know, other people have told me like, bro, you like, not nearly as much anymore, kind of the opposite now, but I've always been a calm, like chill person, but I bring a lot of chaos around, and I don't anymore, and I really make a point not to, because it's just not healthy for your mind. But it has been brought to my attention that I can make someone's life complicated with the chaos that I bring. And it's been really interesting to be just by myself. And like really by myself. I haven't had, like, when I say a few people, it wasn't even like just a girl. Like it was a big part of it, but you know, family members, just people living in different phases of life. So reconnecting with old folks, with, you know, people that I used to be really close with, and being real distant from people that I, like, you know, leaned on for a long time. And where was I going with that? Oh, really just finding my like own little piece and shit like that. And the way that also allows you to do this like creative shit and actually like think and be free and just have time for myself, that shit is incredible. Like that shit is so incredible. But after, like, I feel good. Like every day I wake up and I don't have like a crazy anxiety, and when I do, I'm like, for what? Like what am I tripping about? But it's almost like sometimes I really don't know. This is the first time that I've ever lived like at peace. Cause like I grew up in a very chaotic environment, like extremely, and it was a lucky environment in terms of like the people I grew up around, but my inner home environment was quite chaotic, and I think that definitely influenced the way that I came into other people's lives and acted and shit like that. But I still feel like I'm just great. Like I feel like I in this white beater and shit like that. I'm like, listen, I bring chaos around your fucking environment. Nah, I don't know how to just like be chill when everything is chill. This is the first time in my life that everything's been chill, and it's like it's just me and life is good, and I'm like, all right, what do we do next? Like, how do I fuck some shit up now? But like, I can obviously if I really wanted to, but like I don't want to, because life is good, so why would I fuck shit up? But that's just how the brain works. But luckily I think I've become pretty aware of it. Like, we don't partake in any of the hard recreational things anymore. Just a little bit of legal drinking and smoking, if you will. Whoa. Oh, what else do I have down here, man? Just a whole lot of reflection and connection. Yeah, it's been cool reconnecting with a lot of, like, you know, like childhood friends, high school friends, people. Because, you know, I live in fucking Dallas, so, like, when people say their hometown and they, like, are talking about some bumfuck town or somewhere that they have to travel to or whatever, like, I don't feel that. This city has like grown, I think, like 10x or some shit since I was a kid. So like a lot of my really good friends are people that I've known for a long time, and a few of them like I met here recently or whatever. But it's a cool thing to be able to reconnect with those people and be around and see people grow up. And I don't know, I do know, but sometimes that's just what I say to fill the air. And that's not really like good speech habits. I don't know how long I've been doing this, but I'm gonna probably wind it down here soon, just so I'm not talking too much to myself. But I thought it'd be good to check in and just be like, I'm happy with where I'm at, but I'm also not, you know, like I feel good and I'm content, but I'm also like, it's time to ramp some things up. I want to start doing better, and like at my work, I want to start. I've been pretty good about my fitness for the most part. I got a little bit off during the holiday season, but stay on that. And I really want to up this pod game. You know what I'm saying? I've been making the TikToks and the shorts and the whatever you fuck reels. I call them shorts just because like it's just simple. It's shorts, like they're short videos, and a lot of people have really liked them. I think that's something that's really natural for me, something that I enjoy. Sometimes just coming and talking by myself. Like I love doing the pod because it's a fun way to like connect with people and talk about, you know, random shit with like my friends, or, you know, connect with other people that I wouldn't really have a reason to talk to otherwise, but I can talk to them on the podcast, and now it's all of a sudden something that's normal in this day and age, which is dope. I'm not hating. Look, I'm not hating, bro. God, where was I going? Oh, I want to just really grow Mitch Wayne's World. I want to grow this community. I really appreciate the people who have reached out to me and, said they watched an episode or they really liked this part of an episode. I appreciate the people that came on to it. That shit really means the world to me. I don't really know what is going to come from this, but I think there's a lot of people that will watch this and watch me and say shit to me that kind of believe in me more than myself at times. Not that I don't believe in myself, but sometimes I just get so lost with direction and shit like that. And some of the shit that people that, know me and care about me say, or just random people that I'm, used to know and see the shit because they follow me and shit like that. It feels really nice. It feels nice, and it feels like I can do something with this that is more than just rambling to myself in the camera or to my friends, drinking a few beers here and there. But I really enjoyed this part of it. I think conceptually and in a lot of different ways, I need to challenge myself more and go a little bit harder. And if that means, going more with the shorts and things like that, then I'm going to probably do that. But this kind of long form thing and just everything in general put together, I got a few different concepts that I want to really put together. And like I said, challenge myself and elevate what I'm doing here, because I feel like I've put in too much work. I've been doing this shit for too long. I mean, this thing right here that I have had for forever, I think I've had for like 5 years, something like that. So it's not fair to myself to half-ass some shit like this. And it's not fair to the people that, I don't have very many followers at all, but the ones who do like really follow my shit and my people, I fuck with y'all, and I feel like y'all have been too supportive, and it's so small and so whatever, but the things that certain people say like make me really want to take the shit serious and like I said, upgrade myself in a whole lot of ways, because Mitch Wayne's World is always live, baby. You know what it is. So yeah, that was this is the end of volume 1. I'm 25 years old. I'm about to be 26. It's 2025, and I have really enjoyed getting my thoughts out in this like lo-fi, super chill way. I don't necessarily want to get too crazy with the production and shit like that, but let me take another sip of this while I wrap this up, huh? Like I said, I'm 25, about to be 26. To some people, I'm old. To some people, I'm young. I'm a normal age for no one. Whenever I tell someone my age, I'm either old to them or young to them. They're not just like, oh, cool. They're like, you're a fucking and I'm like, all right. Or they're like, oh my God, you're a baby. And I'm like, all right. And I feel like neither. I feel like a simple man. But it's been one of the most amazing years of my life. It's been the year that I finally feel like I did right by myself, for no other reason than just because that's how you're supposed to live life. And I didn't really have those examples growing up and shit like that. And if I could, I was saying this earlier, but if I could tell my younger self one thing, it would be like, bro, take the easy path. Quit tripping. Like, quit trying to always prove a point and just do shit the easy way. There's always luck and unluck, and like quit looking at all the unluck, whatever the fuck. This fortune and misfortune. Quit looking at all the misfortune that you have and look at all the fortune that you do have. And yeah, I don't really know what volume 2 looks like exactly. I think I want to really like, I don't want to go too crazy because it's just Mitch Wayne's World. We flow and we vibe and we do things, but I want to take a little bit of time to consider some things. And this past year was so fun. I fucked around so much, bro, and I want to continue fucking around. It's interesting that I still like, I'm aware that I shouldn't fill my time with certain things, but I still like to fuck around and put my nose in the mud. But I want to, while I'm still young and creative and have the time, I mean, I'm always going to be creative, but while I have the time to like do this, I want to really take this shit somewhere cool. Somewhere that like the people who have watched now and who have subscribed now can be like, damn, Mitch, like, we knew you could do that shit. And, you know, I, again, don't know exactly what that looks like, but I got some ideas, going to figure some things out. And yeah, so I don't repeat myself too much. This has been Mitch Wayne's World Volume 1. Equal and opposite reaction is what I decided to call it. I decided to call that a long time ago. It just felt right. And yeah, thanks. And I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Mitch Wayne's World.